What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second, hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us anywhere and everywhere at My Cowboys Family, and of course, hop in the Discord. The link for that's in the description box down below.
I skipped on a day yesterday, guys, and there was some news, but we were actually very busy and some other stuff and had some late night stuff to attend to. But outside of that, we're back at it. Going to give you the 2-day wrap up here on what you missed in our Cowboys. Very little today, but a lot more yesterday. And of course, I guess you can say, a lot of question marks. Hint, hint. Yeah. When it comes to today's news and with Bill Belichick and others. But we'll talk about it all. Just paying a couple pennies, some dollars and cents for some free agents. We signed another guy in Dak's legal troubles. We'll give you some updates on that, as well as Stephen Jones speaking. We're going to break it all down tonight, but before we get there, baby, let's rock out to those that are at the top of our leaderboards, starting off with the man, McLovin, who's not only just the sponsor of the week for maybe the, 6th out of 10th time, but he's also the Cash App King for probably the 8th out of 10th time. Woo. Much love to the man McLovin running the boards right now.
Appreciate you, of course, and not the only one representing here, right?
The other side of the boards, right?
Jason Renfro as the stream boss with 62 points. Thank you very much.
Yeah, he's holding it down. He's also the king of the gifting membership.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you for showing the love to the MCF chat here.
Yes, that's one of the best ways to drop the love is through the gifting way. And by the way, we look at this week, who's in the lead? Well, skeptical fan, always staying skeptical. He is currently got one on it. One dropped, gifted membership to one of the lucky fans here, so appreciate that. Much love the skeptical fan as he's trying to take back his crown. And Jason Renfro, well, will he go back-to-back like our 90s Cowboys? We will find out at the end of the week. And when it comes to the Cash App, we had SCO971, we had Grateful Nomad, a couple others. A lot of people dropping love here on the After Dark hours, not just here on the channel. So, just little shout-outs here for people like Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, Mick. We got Grateful Nomad. We got SCO971. Of course, skeptical fan staying skeptical. Jason Renfro as well. And of course, the man McLovin, who is now vaulted into first place on the overall board and first place on the Cash App. So he's trying to go back-to-back, not like the Dolphins. That's his team. He's trying to go back-to-back like our 90s Cowboys. You know how it goes. Much love to the man McLovin. You see him in the chat. Make sure you give him a shout-out. Now, on that note, let's shout out the different ways you can drop the love and challenge these people on the boards. People like Mr. McLovin and others, Jason Renfro, skeptical fan, and anybody else who's running these boards. There's 4 different ways you can do it here on the channel through YouTube. Simple, right? Super chat. You can give love through the thanks button after any videos posted or any lives ended. And then you can also, the membership style side of things, you can jump into memberships on your own, which, by the way, let me shout out James Davis, Royce Strasner, and De Lunatic, back in that star level for him. As people that are just jumping right back in the membership, getting those perks, whether it's Navy, Blue, Silver, Star, or over everything levels. So appreciate you guys on that side of things. Gifting memberships, like we said, that's another way of doing things. Those are the 4 ways through the YouTube side. There's 4 ways you can challenge not just the overall board, but the Cash App King, where McLovin currently is reigning supreme. How are those ways, baby?
Of course, you have the Cash App money sign My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and Streamlabs lets your comment show up on screen just like a super chat does.
Yeah, you know how it goes. So 4 different ways, 4 more ways you can help the channel through this side of things. Which, by the way, all those drops I said, I shouted out earlier, other than the people jumping back in the membership, they were all through Cash App or PayPal. So yeah, they're running the show right now. McLovin, one of them.
That's right.
So as we get there, we also have to always shout out and remind everybody that there is a fantastic raffle at the end of the month that is gonna, not just involve the star level members and the over everything level members for our monthly jersey raffle. Yes, next week, probably after the draft, right after the draft, Sunday or Monday, we'll do our April raffle. And if you're in the star over everything membership, you're over everything, you get 2 raffle entries, and the star level gets 1, and then you get a raffle. We used to do like this all the time. Great stuff, but we are adding an extra perk to those that are the weekly winners with a sponsor of the week type of names. And this, we had McLovin take it down so far, basically 2 weeks in a row, but he gets 1 bonus raffle entry for this monthly jersey raffle. We have 2 more weeks in April. We'll see who the other 2 names may be. So keep that in mind. But hey, we might have a weekly winner that gets in there, but the nightly shout-outs, on Friday we include the silver level, but on every day of the week we do the star and over everything level.
That's
baby.
right.
Hit me with them.
Thank you very much, the Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Lincoln Kane, Mary Alvarez, Marissa Sparkle, Dwayne Broussard, The Lunatic, and over everything, Mr. C. Bass.
You know it.
Woo.
Appreciate everybody in the house on all the levels and helping the channel in any ways you guys can. Here, even in the dark and dreary off season, but we're getting closer to the draft. Like a week away, guys. Next Thursday, it's on.
That's right.
So
And that means you'll be seeing a lot more of the MCF family here this upcoming week.
On cam, ready to roll. It's like a long 2-day game. Because on that Saturday, the last day, we won't be able to go live on camera. We won't be able to live until after it all ends. But that Thursday night, Friday night, we'll be here live, going through rounds 1, 2, and 3 here with you guys as we're live. So that's the plan going forward. Now, let's go forward here and almost get to the news, info, and updates. First, let's do those shout-outs to the people in the house.
Of course.
In the chat right now.
So thank you very much to James Herr, who, by the way, said not excited for the Cowboys draft. I mean, I'm almost the opposite. Like, I'm on the edge of my seat because everything is riding on this now. So, Asmodeus, much love. What's up? Stephen White, hello and hi. C. Bass, representing here. Thanks for rolling through.
Yeah.
Diachana. What's up? Who, by the way, said, hide your kids, hide your wife. Number 4 is out tonight.
Uh-oh.
Sorry,
we're going to talk about that situation.
Raul, what's up? Thanks for rolling with us. Freedom first, not first. We'll always go Cowboys. Royalty Productions saying, finally a damn running back. We'll get to that. Although, again, mixed feelings there as well. So, Daniel Berry Sports, what's up?
DB.
Thanks for rocking with us.
The other DB.
Mike Aldana saying, Billy Boy looks good in that silver and blue, huh? Hypothetically speaking. Well, maybe that explains a little bit more of what's been happening recently.
Well,
right?
the one thing I've been talking about is Belichick. He's been my choice since for a while, especially after we knew he was going to be leaving New England, and the Cowboys just he said, we'll keep McCarthy one more year, but, is this a possibility? We'll talk about it.
Yep. Apocalyptic Cowboy, what's up? Hey, that is actually a similar to Skeptical Fan. It's one of those, really perfect on the nose names. Spoonie Dog, what's up? Thanks for rocking with us. So, baby, let's go ahead, jump right into the NFL news because I'm ready to talk Cowboys tonight.
Well, you know what? Before even NFL news, let's talk WNBA because the women are taking over, guys. It's awesome. So, just so you guys know, when it comes to the WNBA draft on ESPN, which went from 7:30 p.m. Eastern time to 9:29 p.m., basically a 2-hour show, had 2.446 million viewers. Just for reference, last year, 572,000 people.
Wow.
And the year before that, 403,000. So it went from 403 in 2022, 572,000 in 2023 to 2.44 million viewers. So I admit it, I was one of them. So, hey, right now this is the shot for them to the women to really change things. And, their star right now, Caitlin Clark. Fanatic CEO Michael Rubin said that Caitlin Clark has the highest selling jersey on draft night than any athlete in any sport in the company's history.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's a takeover, baby. I told you, don't fuck with it. Caitlin Clark is the real deal.
Like you said, if they can use this to springboard the WNBA into something that might have consistency and can last, that could change the face of women's sports forever and sports just in general. So let's
very
see.
Big. And last thing I want to say,
will have to also help and support this.
We saw that she's going to get like what is she getting, like $70,000 a year, something like this. It's very little money. But I do want to update. Again, she should earn what she brings into the league. And if she does give it a boost, everyone's going to earn a lot more in the WNBA as they should. But it's already starting because Indiana Fever, that was the number one pick.
Yeah.
Is she's going to the Indiana Fever, who's the worst team in the league, is nearing a lucrative 8-figure endorsement deal with Nike. Oh. So that means we're talking about $10 million and above on a basically a big time 8-figure endorsement deal. And by the way, she's going to have her own signature Nike shoe.
I mean, look,
so we got the Air Jordan of women here, basically.
But you know what? Right? That's smart because guess what? Pretty much every girl who does sports is going to want this shoe. You know what I mean? Any athletic, sporty girl,
it's going to want it.
This is like a 20 out of 10. So
I just want
to see. No, I just want to hit up a few comments here. James said, Clark, Paige, and Nika are my top 3 favorite women's basketball. And Asmodeus points out, with no championships. Yeah. Right?
No national titles in college.
Yeah, really excited to see once she starts playing how this kind of continues to go.
When she's with the best of the best, we'll see if she's still the best. I believe she will be. That's just me from the little bit I've seen of her.
Thanks for rolling with us. Ramon and Carolina. Much love.
Yeah.
Pass it back
now,
to you.
Bad news side of things. Again, the college draft is coming. The NFL draft is coming up here, right around the corner. week away, tragic situation. Don't know all the details, but a guy who was probably going to be picked, probably day 3, round 6, 7, 8, the 6, 7 or undrafted kind of guy. But Albany pass rusher A.J. Simon, considered a potential draft pick, passed away today at age 25. He was a fun player to kind of look at. Coaches raved about him on and off the field. So again, all the thoughts, condolences to his family. That's a major loss. Obviously, he was about to be in the NFL. I don't even have words. So that kind of caught me off guard there. Now, NFL news, Jacksonville Jaguars. Quarterback Trevor Lawrence. And I bring this up because it's always back to the Cowboys and Dak Prescott in there. But Trevor Lawrence said he had preliminary discussions already with the Jaguars about a potential contract extension, but is not spending any time worrying about it right now. He's busting ass trying to just get better, right? So, again,
just kind of throwing out there that, he just on the first shot, it's like, hey, I do want to stay here. I do want to extend my contract. Like, let's start talking about it.
Yeah. And that's the thing, too. It's like, if he signs, what will it be? Will it push the Dak money up even more? Because they haven't really done much different, when you look at each quarterback. So if he gets, will he get $60 million? If he gets 52, does that mean Dak gets only like 54, 53? You know what I mean? I think everything's going up. So I think Trevor Lawrence probably gets something that's 57, 58 million in that range. We'll see what happens when time comes. That's why the Cowboys are serious about signing Dak. You sign him now, or you could get Plan B, and I don't know what that is right now for them. So now receivers, we know the situation with CeeDee Lamb. Well, there's a couple receivers saying, hold up, we're going to hold out too. Not just Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb. When it comes to these OTAs, Cortland Sutton, which is a guy the Cowboys like and wanted to draft, wanted to maybe even trade for him from the Broncos. Broncos wide receiver Cortland Sutton did not report for voluntary workouts, seeking a new contract. Now, if we trade for someone like this, we got to give him the money. That ain't happening, just so everybody knows. But Sutton is going on his 10th starting quarterback in 7 years in the NFL. I remember when he was drafted from SMU. And he only has $2 million guaranteed left on his deal.
That's great.
If he gets injured or something happens, it's it, right? So he is playing for, you got to do this. This is part of being, I guess you could say, almost an independent contractor in this situation. That's what they are. He's got to make sure he gets the most out of that money in case injury, in case anything happens, right? I mean, he's got his 10th quarterback in 7 years. That ain't good. And, only has $2 million left on his deal guaranteed. So he had 10 touchdowns for them last year for the Broncos and ranked 56th in targets only. So a guy getting, in this spot here, getting 10 touchdowns, they got to find a way of targeting him more. And he said, you know what, you're going to use me and abuse me, or you're not going to, then I'm going to make myself go out there and get the money. If you're not going to give it to me, trade me, get me out of here. So Darius Slayton from the Giants in the same situation. So the Giants wide receiver Darius Slayton, in the final year of his current deal, has not reported to the voluntary OTAs for the Giants this week. He's also wanting a contract extension. Darius Slayton led the... Now you say, what is he holding out for? I think he has less legs to stand on. They'll just go draft another guy and get someone who's almost as good as him, if not better. But Slayton led the Giants in receiving this past season and also in 4 of the last 5 years. Not that that's the answer you want to hear, but Darius Slayton is their best receiver in 4 of the last 5 seasons with the Giants. He's their top receiver. So that's why he's holding out. Now, a guy was signed. A running back was signed. And yes, he's going to be on the Cowboys, but it's not this guy. Today, a running back signed, and a guy that I would have loved the Cowboys to take a chance on. And that's former Ravens running back J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins off the market now. He's re-signing a 1-year. He's signing a 1-year contract with the Los Angeles Chargers. So again, he's reuniting now with former Ravens offensive coordinator Greg Roman in Los Angeles with the Chargers. And the Chargers now have 2 Ravens running backs, J.K. Dobbins and former Raven running back Gus Edwards. So both their running backs are former Raven running backs. So that's the update there on those guys. I'll talk about the Cowboy guy in a minute, but first let's I don't know if anybody has any comments on this part of stuff yet. Let's get to
we don't know, Danny, yet. I don't think there was any information, unfortunately, on how my goodness, AJ Simmons passed.
Yeah, that's still not being talked about yet. He's 25 years old. That's all we know. It's we don't know yet. When we find out later in the week, whenever, we'll let you guys know.
James Harris throwing out there saying that Slayton has no leverage.
That's what I'm thinking. But the fact that he has been their leading receiver for our last 5 years, can he hold that as leverage? I think he's just the guy who just the only guy left. I don't think it's like he's that great. That's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. Either way, he wants to hold out. He might just be holding out and then come back later when the Giants draft a top receiver. he has no leverage, like 0.0 at that point.
Stephen White said they will all get paid well. If it's this week or next month, they're all going to get paid.
Yeah, eventually.
So,
and that's
again,
why
I think they get paid what they want.
But that's what Cortland Sutton, though, with someone like him, he wants to get paid, but not like $2 million in guaranteed money, and that's it. He wants to get a new contract, and if he plays with few targets and he's very productive, he wants to get paid what he is deserving. And if he gets injured and playing on $2 million guaranteed, he makes nothing the rest of his career. And that is, you play in your rookie years and your first contracts because you're trying to get that big contract in the future. He's there at that point now, and they're not giving him the opportunity. So I can understand why he's pissed off. Darius Slayton, though, I don't think he's that great of a receiver. He's like an average receiver,
So, and anyway, back to you, baby.
Yeah, let's roll it back to Bill Belichick, because this is the big one here. And again, there's a talk going on that the Bill Belichick is going to maybe be a Dallas Cowboy head coach. Now, first and foremost, what happened this offseason, this failed offseason for Belichick in his job hunt for head coach? The Falcons, this is some information that came out today. Mm-hmm. The Falcons did not rank Belichick in their top 3 coaches that they had. And Robert Kraft had discussions with Arthur Blank, the owner of the Falcons. And according to multiple sources, Falcons owner Arthur Blank, when he called Robert Kraft from the Patriots after his first meeting with Bill Belichick, Kraft warned Blank to not trust Bill Belichick. Do not trust him. A source close to Belichick said that Kraft was, quote, a big part of why the Falcons passed on hiring Belichick this offseason. So a spokesman for Kraft strongly denied that Kraft said anything disparaging. But if that's true, that's fucked up. And again, that's kind of like getting stabbed in the back. I guess Belichick kind of ran the show there and told Kraft what he wanted and what he didn't want. I don't know what the trust thing is. What do you any kind of thoughts on that? I mean, I think it's just Belichick being Belichick.
You have to remember, if Belichick ran the team and was given kind of, a lot of freedom to do what he wanted, there probably were at least a few times that maybe he took liberties or took things a little further or did something where Kraft maybe would have wanted a little bit more authority or decision making. And especially you have to remember, the Belichick that maybe started off with Robert Kraft is maybe not the Belichick that ended up with Robert Kraft. As you guys know, some of the personnel decisions that Belichick was making towards the end are part of the reasons why Tom Brady also chose to move on, right? Because he wanted to do things his way. And whether he was right or wrong, Brady was just not on board. And Kraft also seemed like he was not necessarily buying, what Belichick on his own was selling. There's a lot of people that still think that as great as Belichick is, he'd be nothing without Tom Brady. We can argue that as long as you want. But, I still think that, I imagine it's just, when things end. And no relationship usually ends, regardless of how it ends, on the happiest of notes. So, just saying. Plus, if Kraft is talking to an owner of a team, that's a little different than anybody else he'd be talking to, because he's trying to give him what he feels is the real problem. Yeah. Well, again, anyway.
The way I see this is, we'll talk about it in a minute, because we got more to talk about Bill Belichick. He was interviewed today on the Pat McAfee show, which, by the way, Caitlin Clark was on there, and I think they're filming in Indianapolis, so it's like she's always going to be around. She's like, I'll be here every week. He's like, come on. It's binding. But on this show, they spoke with Bill Belichick. He was live on the show today.
Cool.
And he said, quote, I'm looking forward. He's going to be on a broadcast with some of these guys, so he's going to be doing some draft coverage. Belichick. Nice. Interesting to see him out there doing some. He's not very, sociable talking guy out there. He's going to be doing this draft. I can't imagine. That's the way he seems to talk. So he said, quote, I'm looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to draft weekend. It's always an exciting time. And it'll be fun to be with your guys and get your expertise. Making a little joke there. But yeah, it sounds he's going to be on the Pat McAfee show. He also said, it's just a little side note. It's nothing relevant to anything. He said he's never had a cup of coffee in his entire life. Like he's never even had one cup of coffee. That seems, I mean his demeanor kind of fits, but I don't know. It's just insane to me. To me, it's fascinating, but whatever. Now,
it's a little weird. Like you never even tried it. That's the part that's a little bit like, okay. Well,
in this kind of, inside information that broke today about what happened with Arthur Blank, with Kraft, and telling them that Belichick was, not to be trusted, and all these things, right? That this is one of the main reason why the Falcons took him off their list. But here's the thing: in this breaking kind of, piece of information. There was also a little bit about will he coach again in the future, and this is where it implies the Dallas Cowboys, because I see Brandon JS in the house. The Giants and the Eagles are teams there as well, and so are the Cowboys. That he's eyeing the NFC East, but one of his old friends doubts whether he'll even get another opportunity ever again in coaching, except for the Dallas Cowboys. Let me explain. He said this. Well, let me just put it this way. Let me just break this down. In the next bunch of weeks coming up here, guys, Belichick is expected to sign a deal. As you know, he's going to do some kind of analyzing or something. Some draft stuff. Now he's going to be an analyst for the Peyton Manning Omaha Productions Studios, basically, which produces ESPN's Manning Cast during Monday Night Football. So the belief is that he will be biding his time until next January, until new openings come from teams out there. And he's told his oldest friends out there that he would be interested in coaching 3 teams: the Philadelphia Eagles, the New York Giants, or the Dallas Cowboys. And a source who spoke with a long-time friend of Belichick said that the friend wonders if he'll ever coach again, because he said, quote, "I don't think Bill Belichick will ever be a head coach again in the National Football League, ... unless it's for Jerry Jones."
Now, I guess my question is why this friend feels that way in particular. Like, what is it about the Eagles or the Giants? Because at least to me, the Eagles, I can halfway understand, but the Giants have history with Bill Belichick. He was a former Giant. Why
he was a
they
defensive
want to
coordinator
bring him back into the organization.
He was a defensive coordinator under Bill Parcells.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to say, that to me feels like a natural fit, but at the same time, the Giants front office nowadays is not exactly what I would call competent. So, would they give Belichick the kind of freedom that he might be seeking?
Here's
the same thing we'd ask of Jerry. But
the biggest reasoning for this.
Who's the friend? Said Mike.
Well, a long time old friend. But here's the thing. Let me.
Jerry.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. The reasoning given is the only reason is because it's Jerry Jones, not because it's the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones, and I've said this in the past. That's why I say maybe they get Belichick's son. And he ended up coaching for Washington Husky, a defensive coordinator. But I was like, get Belichick's son in here, and we can make way for the next, for the head Belichick to come in. So, but again, I think that it's the connection. The one thing Jerry Jones is still good for is that the connection he has with Bill Belichick is maybe what's going to give us the head that will be a little bit in the lead and trying to get him.
Jerry is old enough that no one has been friends or known Bill Belichick longer than Jerry in the league, right?
I mean, for the most part. Remember, he wanted him. Remember, Belichick said, "I want to play for you. I want to coach for you." Back when he was with Cleveland, he lost his job there.
Just saying, one of the few times we can pull the age card in a positive direction for Jerry, right?
Yeah. So his relationship with Jerry Jones is the main reason why this friend believes he'll only coach for the Cowboys or never again in the NFL. Not even the Eagles or the Giants. Forget about them. It's the Cowboys or no one. The final thing I'll say about this is do you remember last time when we brought up the fact that why he didn't get the Atlanta job and why certain teams maybe weren't as interested because of his personal situation? He's not exactly a super long-term coach anymore. He's more of a shorter
term, taking a team past the final hump type of
but
coach.
I also think it was maybe some of the stuff Kraft said was probably not, he says, when the report is do not trust Bill Belichick, whatever they said is the author blank and the other, they didn't like it. But here's what I'm saying, though.
Okay.
I want to address the situation with the Cowboys.
Okay.
What has changed? Is Jerry Jones willing to change, or is Bill Belichick willing to change? What do I mean by that? Because to me, the biggest sticking point is who is the GM. And that's the thing, is if Bill Belichick is willing to, he knows Jerry, so he knows that Jerry's going to GM. But maybe also Bill Belichick gets a little more leeway with Jerry. And and maybe Jerry listens to Bill Belichick and GMs according to the way Belichick wants to. That's the question to me. Because Bill Belichick either said, okay, I'm not going to be GM, and that's cool, or Jerry Jones said, you can be the GM, and that's cool, because we know Belichick also wants to be the general manager. So that's my only thing. What's changed here? It sounds like Belichick is willing to give up control to Jerry, because it sounds like he's the one willing to play for coach for Jerry Jones. Yeah. But it doesn't mean he won't have. I believe he'll have probably the most impact in the front office and general manager situation since Jimmy Johnson, when he was, of course, Jimmy Johnson was the general manager. This would be the closest thing we had if Belichick ends up being the coach next year after McCarthy, and even though he's not general manager, he will do some general manager things, trust me.
Yeah.
And he'll be working with Jerry and others in the front office, I think, personally. You never know. But I think that would be the path that I would like to see the Cowboys go. And we're throwing away this year, I guess, in a way.
Hey, Marco Sepien coming through with a $5 holler to kick things off tonight. He has his own mindset on if we were to bring in Belichick, how to make that work, right?
What did the man say with that 5 on it?
So he said, how do you win a Super Bowl? You sign Dak, and with money saved, you sign Henry and 1 or 2 other impact free agents. You re-sign our defensive tackle and then the cornerback we released for solid depth. And obviously, bring in Belichick.
Yeah, hey, 100%, Mark. You know how I feel about this. Dak should have been, let me give him that heart. Dak should have been signed and pushed the money forward. That money we saved, not just on that, but also CeeDee Lamb. We saved $13 million this year if we extend CeeDee Lamb. You got Dak, you got CeeDee Lamb. You can make moves on other guys, offensive linemen, if you wanted to open up more, and you get back money June 1st for Michael Gallup, almost $10 million. So we get all that money. Henry's gone, so obviously we can't get Henry. Yeah. But yeah, that's what we needed to do with that money. It's too late for that. See, that's a pipe dream now because that money's gone. The money's not being used. And listen, if the Cowboys here's the thing we talked about the other night, Mark. If Jerry Jones gets a deal with Dak Prescott done, an extension, or CeeDee Lamb gets a deal, that money is now wasted. We have just post-draft free agents. There's no big money guys. So we have all this money, and now we can't use it. And Jerry Jones will say, hey, we didn't have it then. Now we have it, and there's nobody out there. What do you want me to do? Like, that's the way these fucking front office assholes work. Try to work us. We know what they're going to do. Hey, Stephen Jones is going to be clowning off here in about 5 minutes. You can hear what he said. It goes right down that same kind of Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, the Jones way of doing it. I'm not saying Cowboys way because it ain't the Cowboys way. It's the Joneses way of doing things. So much love to the man, Marco Sepien.
That's not Belichickian. So, and the final, little thing I wanted to point out there, add on to Marco Sepien's comment there. One of the things that, oh man, damn it, I just had it.
About Belichick, I don't know.
That's what I'm trying to say. Was it about Belichick? Was it about Dak?
Well, again, so the fact that we're starting over with the whole coaching staff next year, sounds like. Dak's on this, hanging on by a thread as far as are we going to keep Dak? So all these things obviously are going to affect the decision of the head coach next year and who's going to come in there and take over. I think Belichick, I thought he would take over this year's team. This is the year you take over the team. Not next year we're going to start over. And we're going to have a new quarterback. Nobody have to develop a guy. We're going to have to...
I think I remember what my point was. It was basically just that, like I said, I don't know if you want to call it the Tom Brady or the Belichick effect, but the point is that if anybody can somehow take Dak, help him get better, help the offense improve, or honestly, even if it's just from the flip side, because Belichick is a defensive-minded coach. If our defense, can get up to snuff and we can fix a few of our problems on the offense, again, we can be like, some of the very defensive teams that were just in the Super Bowl.
You know what I trust? You know what I trust about Belichick? He knows football. You know who doesn't know football? Jerry Jones. He don't know football.
Ooh, okay, I actually remember what my point was. Yeah. This is, and it was a Dak related point. I'm like, wait, it's gonna come to me. Okay, so one thing that has been consistent. And Belichick is not a guy to give compliments often. Like, he'll say his little generic thing or whatever, but he kind of moves on quickly. He has always given Dak what I feel like is legitimate, actual praise. If you hear him talk about Dak, even from, like, his rookie year and stuff, like, he's not just saying, like, yeah, he looks good, or, like, the kind of generic comments he usually makes about other players and things like that. He's actually gone into depth and broken down Dak's positives.
He breaks everyone down, but yeah, he knows Dak very well.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was something about the way he spoke about Dak in particular. It always caught my attention because I'm like, man, the way he talks about him, it sounds like he kind of likes him. That was it. That was just my point.
I think he sees a little bit of Brady in him, a little bit. If he just needed to be. Listen, I talked about the coaching staff this man had. Offensively speaking, Garrett, Linehan,
with that comment.
Garrett, Linehan, Moore. I'm sorry. But that's a horrible foundation. When you got somebody like Brady, who was sloppy and was, and I trust Belichick bringing in the right guys, whether it's offensively, defense, whatever. I trust him bringing in the right guys, players, coaches to get the job done. And I don't trust the other coaches that we've talked about here in the last 2 decades to do any of that fucking shit other than Bill Parcells was the only guy that I trusted, but he was held back in his years with the Cowboys by the Joneses. So he took off first chance he could. I think Belichick would be a great pickup for the Cowboys. Now, I'm not holding my breath for this, but I do think it's always kind of been on the map, and it's always been a target. I thought this year would have been perfect. Because now, to me, next year, you're going to basically, let's say we don't keep Dak. You got to start over with less money, with all these rookies all over the place. And we're going to fill up we're going to have to do it the Jerry Jones way, I don't know. I think Belichick likes to work free agents. He likes to do more stuff than just sit on his hands. So that's the thing. What are we going to do? We're going to stay with most of these guys into next season as well, and the next couple of years, and use up their final talents and bring in a real coach, or we're going to just break up the party and then have Belichick rebuild a team? That don't sound good either.
We'll have to see, but Seabass, I just want to throw out there. I just cannot see Belichick. I almost called him Belichick. Sorry, I can't see Belichick playing second fiddle to anybody.
Yeah, I agree. He's the head coach, or he's not doing it.
Yeah.
No
moving backwards.
I agree.
And speaking of trying to move forward, right? Well, I know we still have some other Dak related.
Any other last comments in there though, as far as this whole Belichick thing?
Yeah, of course. So real quick, Stephen White said we have 2 years of credit card hell, so let's see how they kick the can. Jerry Jones himself said, "You want to talk about greed? Look how much money these players are demanding." Revelation journalist, shout out to you, said Jerry is the NFL version of Captain Wrong Way Peach Fuzz from the Bullwinkle Rocky cartoon. I think that's a great way of
good analogy
putting that. So anyway, kind of rolling back here to you.
Yeah, let's roll forward to get
rolling back, rolling forward,
roll forward and backwards. Jerry's in the mix, but he's not the guy we're talking about right now. He's got his own legal problems, and Dak has some legal problems. We know about Dak's sexual assault situation, civil suit filed against him. So I want to know, baby, what is you're the attorney at law here. What is the latest legal move right now that came, in this case against Dak Prescott? Because Dak got a load off his shoulders, it seems. But you got to look forward into what's actually happening. Yeah. So go ahead, baby. What happened?
So, for a minute, you hear this news, you're wiping your brow if you're Dak Prescott, right? So the woman who brought up the case against him dropped the charges. They have until an official dismissal hearing on May 14th to change their mind. Otherwise, the case in Dallas County is going to be closed.
Yeah, it was withdrawn by the woman's attorneys, Yoel Zahir and Bethel Zahir. Both these people are being sued by Dak as well, by the way, for defamation. But.
So, and the reason why, quote, "We wanted to have it all in Collin for purposes of convenience. We are still 1,000% pursuing this case." And Collin is in Collin County.
Yeah, so again, guys, you got to remember, the efforts are not over. So we're hearing people say, "Oh, Dak is he's cleared." No, guys. This is legal stuff. They're purposely getting... they're dropping it in a certain county, and they're going to move it over basically to another county. So again, they're basically the shorts are the court records are showing that the woman and her attorneys now have filed 2 counterclaims in Collin County, and this was done on April 5th, as well as 2 more motions to dismiss the suit. So again, they are fighting through another court, through another county. That's all. That's the reason why these charges were dropped, at least.
If you guys remember, right. The reason they're doing this now is because Dak filed his countersuit in Collin County. So, again, to make things more easy and straightforward. Yeah. Part of the reason as well, just to make things clear, the charges being brought against Dak, even though the statute of limitations on a civil sexual assault claim have expired, her lawyers are saying, quote, "There's other causes of actions I don't want to go too deep into detail, but that we do plan on filing soon. It's imminent, and you will see it soon." So to answer your question, are there things we can sue him for? Yes. Yeah. So, just letting you know. Now, of course, Dak and his side have completely denied the allegations. They're saying that this is just a straight-up, good old-fashioned man and woman doing their thing.
In the SUV outside the Gentleman's Club. And again, this is being refiled in Collin County, as we just said a couple times here. So people understand, it's just being dropped in one county and refiled in another. Yeah. It's not being dropped completely. That's what people thought. I
exactly.
think people
and Dak's lawyer did not respond to any request for comment as far as the case being dropped from Dallas County and moved to Collin County, which honestly, why would they respond to that? It's just,
Yeah. So
anyway, so there's a few more things going on there, but we will keep you guys posted.
Yeah, they're still investigating the sexual assault claims.
Yeah, obviously, like we all know, some
no updates in either
timing
investigation. Yeah.
As far as the timing of this.
Yeah, the contract coming around the corner somewhere for Dak, and extension this year, next year. Obviously, this woman wanted $100 million for her not to say anything. He said, "No, I'm suing you for defamation, for extortion, for blackmail." So again, we'll see what happens, guys. But in addition to extortion, Dak is also suing the woman and her representation for defamation, slander, civil conspiracy, and other things that are just going to keep going and going. So Dak's going all out to stop this thing. Now, this assault on him. So just want to say, since we're on Dak, and we're going to get to the signing, we're going to get to Stephen Jones now, but I want to stay with Dak for just 1 second, not about his court case, and I don't mind if you hit up the chat about maybe any thoughts on Dak's court case. I don't think it's really anything big. I think people jumped the gun in the Cowboy creator content world. Even people in the real media were like, "Oh, Dak's cool now." He's no, they didn't realize it was getting refiled in Collin County. So
yeah, Smodius said it, just messy.
Yeah.
Jared Jones said, "I taught Dak all about the smash and go with the women at the club."
Jesus Christ, that makes me vomit. But it also kind of sounds like I can see Jerry trying to teach everybody.
Is that better or worse than Glory Holes?
I don't know. Definitely.
We'll let the chat decide.
Definitely better, I think.
Drop a 1 in the chat if it's better, a 2 if it's
Glory
worse.
hole, you don't know what's on the other side. That's all I'm going to leave it at that. So, anyways, I'd rather go, with,
at least you know what's in the back of your SUV.
Exactly. Back to the quarterback situation. The quarterback situation in Dallas has always been a big, bitch fest about Dak is taking up the Dak money.
Yeah.
So when you look at quarterback number 1 money for the Cowboys since 2007. The number that was Romo at the time, $8.9 million. 2008, $4.6 million. 2009, these are the cap hits. 4.6. In 2010, it was $12.5 million, which at the time was a big amount. 2011, 6.4. 2012, 8.1. 2013 goes $11.8 million, and in 2014, $11.8 million as well. Goes up in 2015 to $14.5 million. And then 2016 is when Romo got hurt. So you can see him hitting about $15 million a year for Romo. Then he got hurt. And then Dak in 2016 was the starting quarterback. You know what you paid quarterback 1 then? $0.5 million. So $500,000. $600,000 in 2017. $700,000 in 2018. 2019, he got $2.1 million. It's 4 years in the league.
Yeah.
Then he was tagged in 2020, broke his leg, but he got $31.4 million. 2021, $17.2 million. 2022, $19.7 million. This is on the cap.
Yeah.
And 2023, $26.8 million. So has it been that disgraceful? The biggest cap hit we had on a quarterback 1 in the last 2 decades was because of the Joneses tagging Dak Prescott. And it's not about Dak making the bad move. It's the Joneses not getting him signed that year, which cost us big time. So in 2024, currently his cap hit is down. It was at 59. Now it's at $55.5 million. But remember, guys, it's not counting the, like the Romo dead cap money. Because the quarterback 1, it's only Dak on that year, in those years. So in 2016, when Dak was at $500,000, Romo's cap hit was $20.8 million.
Okay, so understandable,
right.
Obviously. And again, we went into 2016, thinking that quarterback situation was going to be flipped the other way.
In 2017, the cap hit was $10.7 million we were paying on Romo's contract.
Okay.
And Des Bryant's contract, remember?
True.
I'm sorry, that was only on Romo's.
Okay.
And in 2018, we paid $8.9 million. So to be fair, the Cowboys, there was a little more money than what's showing. In those years, we were paying $500,000, $600,000, $700,000. But really, we were paying like $21 million. We were paying, I'd say $11 million. And we were paying maybe $10 million.
Okay, so the point is that 2019 was really the first year where we reasonably had Dak
2018 too. That's not that bad too.
True, I guess.
Look, $9 million, $10 million for a quarterback. Even in those days, it was a good deal.
You're right.
So we had money then. And the Joneses, the motherfucking clown show, said, "We don't have the money to spend, guys. We're the clowns. We don't have the money to spend. We're paying dead money on Romo and Des Bryant, and that's bullshit." I mean, they were, but it wasn't enough to not spend. So the same thing is happening right the fuck now. So what do the Cowboys do? What are they again? You're supposed to. People are saying we'll get our quarterback and we'll build around the quarterback. No, you won't. You'll get a quarterback, and the Joneses will not build around that quarterback. Or they'll build it their way by the draft, not getting players to help now and win. So that you guys got to, everybody wants new quarterbacks, but they don't want to deal with the front office facts. They just look past that like it's going to be fixed. If we get Patrick Mahomes here, it's going to be still the front office dabbling too much. And maybe he can overcome it, Mahomes, but are we going to get guys to help him? Are they going to say we can't get guys from Mahomes?
Yeah.
He's taking up all our cap. The Chiefs are paying their Chris Jones. They're paying everybody. They're getting people there because they want to win. So to me, this is where always the problem is when it comes to this front effing office. But I also want to say that they did make a signing. Yay! They signed someone, and it wasn't an extension for Dak Prescott. It was at the running back position. I'll throw up there Rico Dowdle. You know why? Because we got our new running back, guys, and Rico was our most veteran running back. Well, we got our new starter now, I think. The Cowboys yesterday officially signed, or actually today they officially signed him, but yesterday it was announced. Cowboys signed running back Royce Freeman. Now, hold on to your hats. I know he's a great player. He's right there with the check mark. He's wearing that Rams jersey. Try to cover up as much as I could because he's a Cowboy now. At least for now. But there he is, guys, on the right side of your screen. Royce Freeman. Welcome to the Cowboys. Just so you guys know, he had 319 yards on 77 carries, and he had 2 touchdowns last year with the Rams. We're getting a running back I think Rico Dowdle had more yardage than him. I'm not sure. He was the 3rd-round pick for the Denver Broncos in 2018. So, again, Royce Freeman is just he's our most veteran guy, but that's it. He's a north-south runner. He's not a guy that's gonna kind of make hit the corners and like look for holes. In the sense of going to the outside, busting to the outside. He's a better square power runner. He's decisive, and he's most effective on inside zone. He's a veteran, like I said. And what kind of running back is he? He's a power running back. So think of a replacement for Zeke in a way. Now, he's not as big, but I'm just saying, power back, that should not change the Cowboy running back mindset. In my opinion, we still draft a running back somewhere in this draft, 3rd round or beyond that. I would not go 2nd round. 3rd or afterwards, I would draft a running back, and I would still think the Cowboys can still sign another veteran running back if they really wanted to. There's still a couple you can bring in here for minimum numbers, and I think that Royce Freeman was brought in here on a veteran salary benefit deal. Now, I don't have the proof of that yet, but it will be coming soon. Now, again, guys, I want to make sure that the Cowboys don't use getting Royce Freeman as being, kind of like the Cowboys think that, okay, we're good at the running back position now. We got Royce Freeman. We got Rico Dowdle. Mm-hmm. We might draft someone in the 5th round. We're good at running back. Like, I don't want the Cowboys to get lazy about that we're set at running back. Like, I don't think Royce Freeman and Rico Dowdle and Deuce Vaughn and Hunter Lipke are the answers to our running game. They're parts of the answer, but they're not the final answer yet. These are just pieces. So, and they're not great pieces.
It feels like we're taking a lot of like very, very tiny pieces and trying to shove them all
That's
together.
That's what it feels
when
like.
They don't
I'm telling
necessarily add up to one puzzle.
So basically what this is doing is the Cowboys are adding running back depth with a power runner that can run inside in between the numbers, maybe get you those first downs, the short yardage first downs.
Feels like more competition for Dowdle than anything in a way.
Well, Dowdle, but
I know they're different types of guys, but it's more in the
still,
sense of like we know they're neither one of them is a number 1. So what are they doing? Fighting for 2 and 3?
Well, again, a lot of teams have 3 running backs that kind of share different loads, right? And this would be where you want Rico Dowdle. He's more of your quicker runner, even though he has that power. But then you got this guy here, someone like Royce Freeman, who will just run you in, just run you for those yards in the middle there and soften it up. But that's not the answer to our problems. So the Cowboys add some running back depth here. All right, I have no problem with this, but I have a problem if this is all they do. So this addition is not, again, according to most sources, guys, this addition does not take the Cowboys. The Cowboys front office saying we are not out of the running back market yet, not just in the draft, but also in free agency. So keep that open there. It feels very similar to the Ronald Jones signing last year. Remember we signed him? This time it's great, but we still are down still a running back. Like when we brought him in, we had an extra running back still. We had Tony Pollard, we had Rico Dowdle, we had Deuce Vaughn. I mean, we had, a more full docket of running backs. Now we are still down a running back, even with bringing Royce Freeman in. So, again, upcoming draft or even in free agency, it would not surprise me if the Cowboys go for a low-level running back and then go draft the running back still, or get a running back after the draft. That's my thought. Now, the good news here, when you compare him to Ronald Jones, he doesn't have that baggage that Ronald Jones had with all those, the PED stuff. But even better than that is that Royce Freeman is better than Ronald Jones is right now in their careers. So he will be a better power back than Ronald Jones. He will be a better inside runner than Ronald Jones. He's a better goal line and short yardage back than Ronald Jones. And really in every single way. Catching, running. So we have a guy that can, that basically replaces, is better than Ronald Jones last year. There's an upgrade there, but it's not, it's depth. It's not starter, guys. So that's why we didn't go live yesterday for this, because we're not going to blow smoke up your ass. This guy might not even make the fucking team. Let's be real. So
maybe he's just a camp body.
It could be. You don't know. We signed him. It's going to be, I guarantee it's going to be for that veteran salary. So we're going to, maybe he'll get maybe 1.6 million. And he'll hit the cap for like 900,000 for us. We'll take that. Now, I will say this though: he already chose his number. He's number 27 for the Cowboys. Interesting, because 27 was last worn by safety Sheldrick Redwine. Remember, he was number 27 before that. I think he was 36 or 38. But Redwine went from 27 last year. Now he's 20. He took over Pollard's number. A $20 Sheldrick Redwine holler. But he left that number 27 out there, so Royce Freeman took it. He's be wearing, as of right now, Royce Freeman's wearing number 27, a depth addition. Now, I want to go back for a second to Rico Dowdle, because he's back there for a reason. The clown show, clowning. Again, I don't mind the player. I mind that nothing else has been done. You know what I mean? Like, nothing else has been done around this team. That's just the way it is, on offense specifically. So, again, when you look at Rico Dowdle specifically, what can he provide? He's more than just a running back. He's a receiver too. Rico Dowdle was used more on more passing snaps than rushing snaps. And he was not just used because he was highly effective and productive. He had 117 running snaps, 151 passing snaps. He had 8.5 yards per catch, 2 receiving touchdowns on 21 targets. He had 17 receptions. Fantastic. He averaged 9.9, so 10 yards after the catch per reception. That is the highest on the Cowboys team in 2023. He also had a 127.7 NFL passer rating for the quarterback when he was targeted by a quarterback. So when Dak Prescott threw the ball to Rico Dowdle, a 127.7 QBR was given, a passer rating was given to the quarterback. Well, you know what? That's also the highest on the Cowboys team. So as a running back, he was the best receiving running back on this team we had last year. When you look at yards after catch, I mean, the yak, that's important. And you look at the passer rating, he was always out there catching the ball, not dropping it, open, and Dak hit him. We also getting hit by a $1-2 holler by the man, all the way from Hawaii, Mark Hosepian. Much love to the man. What do you have to say, baby?
He's a nobody. He is a
Thank you.
body.
Exactly.
Typical Jerry Jones.
Yep. Clown show.
Are you honking the clown nose, or are we?
Burp. Burp. Anyways, yeah, I mean, we're honking it because we're the ones sitting here talking about this shit. So look, I'm not going to get mad at Royce Freeman. I'm just saying, like, he'll be like, if he makes a team, he's like the short yardage guy. Like, that's not Super Bowl moves. Like, that's not getting Dak help. That's barely even helping the team.
I was going to say, that doesn't really help anybody.
And when you look at the clown show, we go back to them because they're going to speak here in a minute. Again, 100% agree with the man Marco Seppian on this. Listen to what the Cowboys have money-wise. Now, we're going to go back to this because Stephen Jones said some lying bullshit. But I'm going to talk about a little money here, and then we're going to hear from Stephen Jones how we like our guys, and we have no money. This is what they're feeding you and I, guys. This is what they're feeding us, baby.
How do we like our guys? Medium rare?
I don't know. It seems like Stephen Jones just like them cheap. So the Browns this year, this offseason, led the NFL with $326 million spent. Now, I'm saying we should do that, but that's how much they spent on contracts, extensions, re-signing guys. There's, signing new guys from other teams. They led the NFL with $326 million, followed by the Eagles. They were in salary and cap hell, weren't they? They were the second most spending team. The Niners also spent because they won Super Bowls. The Texans, who did a lot of stuff this year, and the Jacksonville Jaguars, trying to figure out a deal with what's his name? The quarterback. I can't remember.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence. Thank you, baby. So
I almost said Trey Lance.
when you look at this, who's at the bottom of the spending list? All right? The Dallas Cowboys are at the bottom of the barrel. We have spent the least amount of money in the NFL this season on contracts, extensions, re-signings, signings from other teams. We've spent the less, guys. Yeah, everything.
Every measure, we are at the bottom when it comes to spending money.
We've spent $189 million totally this season. The Chargers, the Packers, the Lions, the Raiders are the other four above us at the bottom five. The Cowboys are the worst. We've spent the least. So just so everyone knows, though, these numbers will change some when rosters have to be cut down and draft salaries are factored in for the season. But right now, the top five spenders in the NFL average spending, the top five, you add them together, they're spending $100 million.
Damn.
Higher than the average of the bottom five spenders, which is we're the worst spending team in the NFL because we don't have the pie.
Again,
Bullshit.
Like I said, I wonder how much of those teams or how many of those moves correlate to obviously seeing the kind of success that gets your team, further in the playoffs. I would love it if somebody would eventually crunch the numbers on, how spending overall, correlates to actual success in the playoffs.
Depends on the moves you make. You have a good GM. We don't have a good GM, and they don't spend money. So now, one of the moves we did get in was Eric Kendricks. Oh, he's back there. Let me clear the clowns out the way for a minute. Eric Kendricks, who's back. He looks like he has hair coming out from his helmet.
It does.
But Eric Kendricks and guy we got last year. The guy Cowboys spent money on both these guys. Kendricks this year, not much money, but they did get a free agent. They traded for Brandon Cooks. Both guys, both players, will display a different skill set when they take part in the American Cornhole League Celebrity Super Bowl Series. It's happening in New Orleans on Saturday with 6 other NFL players, and the event's going to air on ESPN2 at 9 p.m. Central. 9 p.m. Central. So what is that? Yeah, that's 10 Eastern. So again, spending a little money on these guys, but we made 2 moves this year now officially with Royce Freeman and Eric Kendricks. That's the only 2 guys we got off outside of our team. That's it. The only 2 guys that we picked up and signed. So, and Brandon Cooks last year we traded for him, and that's the big moves. I just named 2 of them on this cornhole challenge. The important thing though is don't forget we also signed, or I say re-signed, Chuma Edoga. Now, again, not a superstar, but he can play guard as a backup, tackle as a backup. He's just kind of a swing tackle when he's healthy. Contract terms for him. We know we had him last year. He's a tackle guard type player. He got a 1-year contract. It was worth $1.292 million. It includes $1.25 of it as salary, which of that portion, only $500,000 is guaranteed or fully guaranteed. He also got a $167,000 $500 signing bonus, and again he's only counting $1.152 million against this cap because why? It was a veteran salary benefit designation deal. So the Cowboys basically right now, when you look at the contract, it's $1.3 million, and he gets another 1.6 on top of that. I mean, sorry, 106. So figure he's getting about $1.5 million. $1.5 million is what he's getting in his pocket from Jerry and all them. Again, if we cut him, it's not a big deal. It's $500,000. That's all that's going to be hit on the cap. But he's instead of counting 1.5, he's counting for $1.1 million on the cap because it's a veteran salary benefit deal contract. That's it. And the Cowboys are bargain hunting. I just told you the Royce Freeman deal. I guarantee you, it's probably something very close to this. Maybe with an incentive or something like that in there with yardage if he has to. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, this Royce Freeman's going to get probably $1.1 million is going to hit on the cap for us. That's in that range. Watch me be right about this, or at least in the. I'll be surprised if he's over $2 million. I will shit a brick. So, just so you guys know, even with all these things, the Cowboys are other people. The way you do the spending, the cash money, or the Cowboys are 30th in spending. $223 million when it comes to the spending, less than the Browns, who are number 1. The Cowboys are spending $223 million less than the Cleveland Browns, who are spending the most in the NFL. So we're not just not spending that much or not trying to keep up with the top 10. We're at the bottom, and it shows. Now, the major culprit in this, we can pick a bunch of guys. I could sit here and say Jerry Jones is the fault here, but the reality is Jerry is part of this, but it's also the guy handling the mother effing contracts, Stephen Jones, who did speak. And if you look here, he's clowned up. He's got his clown suit on. Steve Jones going to feed us some bullshit, so get ready. You can see we just paid a couple bucks for this running back. Dak going to court, Belichick question. And now let's kind of finish here with two things here. Stephen Jones and the draft. Stephen Jones spoke yesterday. He said, quote, "We like our roster. We like our football team. And right now, we're focused on the draft."
And no, guys, you don't need to clean out your ears. We're not like re-quoting him from a few weeks ago or from even a few months ago. Nope. This is somehow
or even a few years
repeating.
Ago. Same thing.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, look, it's like a copy and pasted statement. At this point, we're gonna need to like prick his finger and prove he's not a robot.
Let's start off with his guys. Let's talk about our guys. The guys that we like have to step up this year. He named a couple on offense and on defense. Starting with defense, Mozzie Smith. What did Stephen Jones say about Big Mozzie?
Quote, "He didn't play as much as we would have liked last season. I think it was a learning process with him, learning what Quinn wanted out of the defensive lineman. We knew when we drafted him out of Michigan that he was asked to play the one technique a little different than Dan likes to see it played. I think the way that Zimmer's going to ask these guys to play is probably a little more in line with what he did at Michigan. But we feel really good about Mozzie."
So again, that is just saying, I hate old Stephen Jones here, but he's talking about Mozzie Smith. He's saying that Dan Quinn didn't want to use him as a one tech. That's why he lost the weight. So the blame seems to go on Dan Quinn on that. But it seems like Zimmer.
That's where Stephen is putting it, which
we don't know
real,
what
it's hard to argue against that considering Quinn was running the defense. Just throwing that out there.
I don't know, but I know that Mozzie Smith now is going to be used properly by Zimmer. That's the point. And hopefully, Zimmer, we know in the past, has used like the real one techs. I thought that Dan Quinn liked them too, but I guess he changed his mind in the newer defensive speed scheme. But we need Mozzie to be able to go in there and play the one tech properly. And I only can hope that Zimmer is going to use him in that way. It sounds to me, and it's not just Stephen Jones. It was him. I wouldn't even trust it. But everyone has said that he's gaining the weight. We know he's gaining the weight back, and everybody is saying that Mozzie is going to be, doing, basically playing the one technique defensive tackle position, in the way it's supposed to be played. That's what's important. So at least as our guys are concerned, Mozzie Smith, maybe we'll see a different Mozzie this year playing his real position. But we got other guys on the other side of the trenches. We talk about offensive linemen. We're in desperate need. Center gone, offensive left tackle gone. What are we going to do from here? So what about our guys stepping up? What is he talking about? What is Steven talking about when it comes to our offensive line?
We have guys like Matt Waletzko and Asim Richards, young players who are on the come. I'm guessing he means come up. TJ Bass played really well for us last year. Obviously, they're guys that our fans aren't as acquainted with as much because they haven't played as much. But we feel that they can step up, not unlike Tyler did as a rookie center, and he played really well.
They talk about Tyler Biadasz, who's now in Washington. So, again...
I was going to say, he should have maybe clarified which Tyler he was talking about.
Well, I mean, again, Tyler at center, it kind of gives it away. But the thing is that Matt Waletzko, and by the way, it's Awesome Richards, but Awesome Richards, Matt Waletzko, TJ Bass, we know about Brock Hoffman. Great. These are all backups right now. Not one of them is a mother effing starter. Not ready for it, even if he wants it to be that. If they are delusional and think that we got, Tyron Smith and Matt Waletzko, then let's get the fuck out of here, because that's what they're telling us. It's a blown season. So, yes, Tyler Biadasz, a fourth rounder, by the way, a fourth round pick, was able to come in there and start in year one and just get better and better and better. Matt Waletzko is like, what is he, a fifth rounder, fourth rounder? Awesome Richards, a fifth rounder. TJ Bass, an undrafted. Brock Hoffman, undrafted. So, I guess because that happened once in the fourth round, I guess a fourth rounder or below is good for us, to our starter in their second year, or undrafted. So that to me, these are our guys that they love so much. This is the roster that Stephen Jones loves. I'm not trying to bash these guys. I'm just being honest about the situation. So when you look at the other parts of things that we can't spend money, what happened? Well, this is where Stephen Jones, kind of clarified why we can't spend any money on any players. So again, remember guys, Cowboys owner, Jerry Jones, set the tone in the offseason after that Green Bay loss, said that Cowboys will be, quote, going all in this season. As we know, it's a common phrase in sports for exhausting every last option to improve a team. Instead, we didn't even try to do an all-in, as we know. And that question was asked to Stephen Jones about what, this all-in by Jerry. I just described it to you guys. We came up short on the all-in by big margin. So what was the explanation from Stephen Jones about his dad's all-in comment?
Everyone has their own definition of what that means, but I've ever not known us to be all in, nor have I known anyone we compete against not to be all in. And then, of course, he was kind of asked directly, like, well, what about all the pissed off fans, that are mad about the difference between that kind of all-in statement and the actual way things have played out this offseason,
like actual
right?
English words. That being all in means something different than that.
So Stephen Jones said to that, quote, we spend max money year in and year out. All 32 can only spend the same amount of money over a 5-year stretch, and when we're all said and done, we max out our salary cap every year.
By the way, that's bullshit. Just so you guys know, that is I wish John Machado, I wish some of these reporters would say, but Steven, Jerry, that's a lie. Like, that is 100% false.
Just because you spent your entire paycheck doesn't mean you paid your bills. Like,
exactly.
That is the most ridiculous fucking statement I've ever heard. Like, oh, but we use all the money. Like, fucking where? Where is that money going? We just talked about the fact that
we had $20 million. We had $20 million rolled over.
A good chunk of that was going to Romo. But what was your excuse after that? When you're paying chump change for a quarterback for 3-4 years and you're still sitting there with your thumb up your ass saying, oh, but the cap.
The cap. And that's the thing. People don't realize, even with $80 million, the Joneses wouldn't spend a fucking cent. They would do the same similar shit we're doing now.
You have the same cut of steak. You have the same potatoes. Why is everybody else out here making basically filet mignon and Dutchess potatoes? You're coming over here with instant potatoes and some overcooked sirloin?
1 year they got to do the instant potatoes. But at least they made the Super Bowl 1 year, won another year, and, made a run again. And, they got past the fucking divisional round. I'm just saying, that's a difference. I want to be in the mix that way. I'll take a bad year rather than be force-fed a bad year, which is what's coming. I'm not going to sure. I know all these other content creators will tell you, we got a great year ahead. Most of them, bullshit. This is going to be a rough-ass year. A lot to overcome, and the only way we do it win is if we overcome shit.
Yeah, and guys, we all know it. However you want to say it, slice it, compare it, their words and their statements do not match their actions.
Right.
So much so that we're sitting here saying, is this a rebuild? Is this intentional tanking? Heck, with the Belichick news today, I was telling Mr. MCF behind the scenes, like, now it makes sense. We are tanking for Belichick. That's the plan. It's a clean slate for old Billy here, right? Marco Seppian has a different mindset.
Let's love the man Marco Seppian with that 5 on it. What did the man say?
Jerry Jones is like me making whoopee. I often hear, is it all in? Or if I say it's all in, they just aren't impressed. In fact, I'm ahead of Jerry Jones, and that's not good.
That one caught me off guard, but yes, the all in.
Don't sell yourself short, Marco Seppian. Jerry's working with so little. I got to believe you're working with more than that. So, but yeah, I think that's a great way of putting it. Jerry, Steven, if you have to keep asking, are we all in, is it all in yet?
Yeah.
Maybe reevaluate your strat.
Yeah, exactly. That motion in the ocean got to get better.
So, now Seabass also saying, money can be worked out on the cap too, but I can't see Dallas making the playoffs right now with their current roster. Maybe post-draft I might feel better, which is why I think it was James Hurd who in the kicking off the stream said, I'm not even excited. Like, I don't even feel good or excited about this draft.
Listen, we know what's going to...
I'm like, I'm not just excited. I'm like, we're counting on this draft.
We're going to do our mock draft here. We've been talking about these players and rookies throughout this entire offseason, but not as deep as we usually do because we just got to wait to this final week, and we're going to bust ass and really do the real rumors, the real guys that maybe can come to this team. We'll do our mock draft, next week, and make sure we have it. It's not going to be like the interactive type. We're going to do it beforehand and probably run like we did last year. I think last year we ran like 100 different mock drafts and just averaged that out, who we ended up getting the most. And we just presented that to you guys. So
now I gotta read some of these comments. I'm gonna try to real quick rapid fire get it back to you. But Bad in Texas said all in, more with less. These quotes are very contradictive. Chapstick for your coochie lips said all in my ass. Pause.
Oh wow.
Thomas Gary said please don't make me laugh. Sledhead, what's up? Let me see. I read Seabass's comment there. China said let's just start drinking now. Thomas Gary said stop lying, Mr. Doubtfire. Take off Mrs. Doubtfire's glasses. Aztec Aguilar said, only thing Jerry's all in is a glory hole at the local 7-Eleven when he buys his wine.
I was just about to mention, he's all in on that wine.
And the one that really hurts, Asmodeus, bringing the truth. Damn Eagles have been to the Super Bowl twice, and we're still sitting around bullshitting.
Trying to get out of divisional round after playing with our food and playing with our money.
Yeah, that is the salt in our wound.
Yeah, that is the thing. The Eagles went all in. They went all in with Carson Wentz, and they went in with Foles, and they went all in with a whole different quarterback a couple years later with Jalen Hurts. So I'm just saying, that is why Howie Roseman is a million. I don't care which people out there telling you that fucking Jerry Jones matching wits with Howie Roseman bull fucking shit. I don't give a. I'll take Howie Roseman.
Battle of wits. Jerry brought a screwdriver to a gunfight.
I will take Howie Roseman, over the whole fucking front office we got right now.
So let's roll it back to the comments that Stephen Jones made. So, he actually...
Because he talked about some of the guys we lost.
Yes.
And we don't have the money to pay these guys. So what did he say about the guys we lost?
So, first of all, it started off since we backed it up
offensive
with Tyler,
line, yeah.
Right? So, as far as Biadasz moving on
Well, Tyler
Cowboys,
Biadasz and Tyron Smith.
True.
Both those guys, right? So what did he say about them?
We just think you have to continue to evolve as an O-line. Certainly, you hate to lose a player like Tyron Smith, who's, in my opinion, going to be a Hall of Famer. Yeah. I think he's going to be wearing a yellow jacket. But at the same time, unfortunately, Tyron's had to miss a lot of games, and at some point, you have to make those tough decisions.
We finally managed the guy properly. He doesn't get hurt. We finally figure it out, and they get rid of him this year. What the fuck?
If you would have said this last year, everyone would have been so happy at that point.
It's crazy that I think McCarthy found a way to manage Tyron Smith, and now we're saying, he missed a lot of games. He actually didn't miss a lot of games. He did not.
It feels like we basically just fixed him up for someone else.
No, for the Jets. Not someone else.
So
the Jets got him.
And of course, speaking of Tyler
at center.
Smith, Steven said, quote, certainly you hate to lose Tyler at center in terms of what he's done for us. But at some point there, you've got to make a tough decision that we can have him go to another team and we can replace him, hopefully, and have a center who's better. We like the young guys that we've brought in over the years, not unlike Connor McGovern. He stepped up after being a backup for 3 years, and he stepped up and played really good at guard and then got awarded a contract in Buffalo.
That's great, buddy.
What comes with having a good roster, which we do... Okay.
No, I wanted to stop there for a second. Oh. Yeah, because Tyler Biadasz at center, and the way he's making this sound like McGovern came in there and did a good job, and he's setting us up for possibly Brock Hoffman at center. That's what he's kind of looking at. I think he's kind of feeding us, hey, we got guys that can step up here that you don't really know. Who else is that?
Well, Tyler just thinks T.J. Bass is the one being that's
not at center. Not at center. Not at center. Again, he's talking here about Tyler Biadasz, and he's saying he again when you said it, baby, you said that basically replacing him, hopefully have a center who's better. I believe it's the draft. I don't believe it's Brock Hoffman. He's not going to say it's the draft, but I believe it's JPJ or Graham Barton or Barton Graham, whatever. He's the guy that I'm looking at. One of those two guys, the top centers in this draft. The Cowboys may be trading back, adding another pick, and getting one of those two centers on this team. Then we've upgraded center in a real way. The other way, we're not upgrading center. We're not upgrading center with Brock Hoffman. All right, I'm just being honest. He's a good backup. That's it. Right now, and maybe in 10 years it'd be great, but right now he's a backup center guard. That's what he is. He's not a starter. So I hope everyone got that. So, comparing Connor McGovern stepping up like a starter, it's not the same thing as Brock Hoffman stepping up as a starter. Just saying. And then, kind of finishing up with his comments there a little bit, he kind of finished up with kind of the thing that makes it so frustrating to see this front office. Not just, they say about their own guys they're happy with, but then they're not paying the guys. So that's when Stephen Jones finished his interview. Mm-hmm. And what did he say to end it with, baby?
What comes with having a good roster, which we do, we're also looking towards signing our own guys. it doesn't mean it happens overnight. But when you're wanting to sign players like Dak and Micah and CD, then you have to hold money back if you want to have a realistic chance of signing those guys.
And that is the frustration. These guys, I know they know. We all know they know that you can push money forward. We've seen their contracts already. But why are they feeding us such obvious bullshit? Like, obvious bullshit. It's maybe because the fan base is accepting of it, the majority of the fan base. We don't. We won't. You guys don't. But most of the fan base ain't like us. Most of the fan base is like, cool, what's going on this year? Who do we draft? Okay, he's cool. They don't know shit about shit going on here, the real deal stuff. They blame Dak. They blame CD. They blame all these other guys for making the problems because they earned the money the way it's earned in the NFL. It's not the way it used to be. You win a Super Bowl, you get money. Now it's how you play, perform, and you get paid on that. No one can help. That's the way it's changed too. That's the facts. And they're still living with it in the freaking 1980s, at least playing like it. They're fronting. They're not really, they know they can do it. They just choose not to, and they think we're idiots. And some of us are. But the point is that they think like this whole fan base just will follow, buy tickets, buy jerseys, and most of them do. And that's why they keep doing this shit. They can feed us bullshit for a couple years, and then they'll say, oh, well, it was because of Dak Prescott. Oh, because of this guy, that guy. Front office is failing. Has been failing for almost 3 fucking decades. Even with coaches like Bill Parcells in there. We still failed. I mean, he did great. He overcame as much as he could with the front office. But he even said when he had that first option to leave that contract, he left. Yeah. Parcells said, I'm gone.
And hey,
we're retiring.
Seabass, we're just continuing the theme of self-inflicted wounds truly being the thing that keeps getting this team over and over and over again.
It pisses me off. It does piss me off.
Shades and variations.
Yeah, Asmodeus, it does piss me off. It does piss me off to see our team wasting a year of these players' careers, of wasting a chance to push through and make it. We could listen. If I was in control of this motherfucking team, Belichick is the head coach. Boom, done. I don't care. Maybe Zimmer is the defensive coordinator. I don't know. But Belichick is the head coach. We extend the guys. We extend Dak, CD, and Micah. Done deals. I don't even think about it. I would have done it last year. Not Micah, but the other guys. I would have done CD's contract last year. And then you extend these guys. You make room now. Then you go out there and you do what the Eagles and Niners did. Yeah. You go out there and get the guys that have they're good. They're well-worn guys that are true and proven. You bring them in, you sign them. Yeah, you spend a little bit more, but you do it. You go aggressive, and then you go in there. You lost to the fucking Packers. You got fudge packed this year. Well, be a man and try harder. Don't be a pussy and then retract. That's what it feels like that the Cowboys are doing. The Joneses are doing. They're feeding us bullshit, and they put it on us. It's on them. They ain't doing shit.
I know, but time.
Fucking assholes.
Sorry,
go ahead.
Fortunately or unfortunately, time only ever really moves forward. So this lost time, again, we're putting monetary values on it. That's what these contracts are. But it is priceless. You do not know if you're going to have that same player next year for better or for worse. Yeah. Like, we're all sitting here thinking, Mike is going to be available next year, CD or Dak or whoever. We have no idea what tomorrow will bring us.
Yeah, and that's my point.
So for the Cowboys to sit here and basically, like you said, it feels like we're wasting a year where we could be at least progressing forward instead of stalling out or moving backwards, which is exactly what it feels like we're currently doing. We're settling with bullshit.
Well, it's selling with it's what they've been doing the last recent bunch of years. They've been saying we like our guys. We like to get our comp picks. We like to get our draft guys, and we like to pay our guys.
When you can't get fired, where's the risk?
Yeah, where's the accountability? And that's why I believe it goes to the coaches, and they're not accountable sometimes. The players, they're not accountable at times because these two motherfuckers are never accountable. Yeah. If they can be not accountable at the top, then why can't everybody else?
Final thing I'll say there too, that thing that they say a lot about people who get super, super crazy rich, right? Similar to Squid Games. They start to lose the ability to feel like the joy and the thrill out of like more regular things. They need to keep like leveling it up. And when you have that much money, like there's only so much crazy cool shit you can do or buy or spend. So I'm guessing for Jerry and Steven as well, it is some kind of a weird thrill for them to like tackle this type of challenge because they're not just running any old business or doing any old thing. They're running a multi-billion-dollar empire in a way that very few people can say that they have their entire hands basically elbow deep into, again, a billion-dollar empire.
Yeah. Multi-billion
dollar empire.
And I just, look, all I know is that They're not accountable. Like I said, all those things I've said about how we can change things, and I think we had done those things. We make a real run at the Super Bowl, not just saying it. We actually make a real run with those moves I just said. That we did that, and listen, yeah, we got to pay that money back later, and we will. But in the end, it won't be as much. It's worth the risk for an all-in year or two, and you have one down year. That's what the Eagles had. That's what the Rams had. Just saying, like the Rams were at 2 Super Bowls as well with different quarterbacks, different teams, almost different, not different coaches, but different teams basically, like the Eagles. And hey, they both won one and they lost one. 50-50, give me the 2 Super Bowls, we'll win one. I'll take that. I think we'll all take that. I know we'll all take that. So, look, what these clowns love is their own guys. We talk about our own guys. How do you get our own guys? The draft, right? So as we turn to the final page of tonight's stream, get your last thoughts in, drop your love, the last drops of love. If you want to make your voice heard that way, and you can do it through all different ways. But appreciate the sponsor of the week, McLovin, on the Cash App board, McLovin. And he's also the leader this week as well. He's trying to go back-to-back like our 90s Cowboys. Jason Renfro holding it down with 50 points in the Stream Boss. He's also the champion of the gifting board, membership gifting board. Much love to him. With Skeptical Fan currently in the lead there with 1 on it for this week. We'll see who takes it down. But what about compensatory picks? Comp picks for old Stevie Jones. He loves them. I want to make sure that we also bring up the fact that what have we done? A lot of people say Cowboys can't do very much in the draft. We haven't had this last draft was horrible, right? But let's go from 2020 to 2022 in that little 3-year window. In that 3-year window, the Cowboys selected 27 players in 2020, 2021, and 2022. All right, 27 players. 7 of them received NFL honors. Out of those 27 players, we had 12 total Pro Bowlers in those years, 8 total first and second team All Pros, 4 Defensive Player of the Years, 4 Defensive Player of the Year nominations, one Rookie Defensive Player of the Year award, 1 Pick 6 record holder. So again, in the recent years, not many teams have drafted better than the Dallas Cowboys. So I put a lot of that on Will McClay. Now, he might have made a couple mistakes. Maybe he got Mozzie, and now we're hearing that it sounds like Dan Quinn changed it up. So I don't know if I blame Will McClay more, or I think I blame Dan Quinn more on that for changing what he asked, what he wanted. He wanted a big guy in the middle. We got him that. Will McClay got, and then he had to lose some weight and play a 3-tech. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. So I can't blame Will McClay on that. So Will McClay's really done a great job finding those jewels in round 4 and 5, right? Those Deron Blands, a lot of these guys are floating around in there that we wouldn't have if it wasn't for Will McClay, and of course a lot of those undrafteds, right, that have really come through great depth. Some even started, it's because of Will McClay and Chris Long. So, or Chris Hall. I'm sorry, Chris Hall. Anyways, so what is our projected compensatory picks? We lost a bunch of guys this year. Obviously, if you look at our, I don't know if I have it here, but let me see. I can just say it for later. Or here, I'll just do it like this. The free agent tracker. Let me clear the board here. You can see those guys that we lost right there?
Yeah.
Pollard, Dorrance Armstrong, Biotish, Fowler, Gallimore. Gallup's not been picked up yet. Van Der Esch, down to Tyron Smith to the Jets. Guys, the Cowboys are currently, if we had the ability to get 5, we would have 5 compensatory picks. But there is a limit of 4. Remember, so you cannot get over 4 comp picks. We'll get 4 comp picks. It caps at 4. But we are going to 100% get all 4 of our comp picks next year. And what rounds? We're going to get, right now we're looking at 3 5th-rounders. That's major next year. 3 5th-rounders, a 6th-rounder, and it would have been a 7th-rounder if we count the 5th one, right? Mm-hmm. So here's the thing, though. If you want to make moves during the draft, trading around, don't hold back on using future draft picks, because you're going to get a whole bunch. You're going to get 4 more draft picks next year. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, we're going to get 4 draft picks next year. Because we lost all these guys, are going to give us back a lot of compensatory picks, higher, 5th-rounders, 6th-rounders. So why not? In my opinion, if you want to make a trade or a move, whether it's for a veteran, a veteran player in the NFL right now, on draft day or a move, on the draft board, up or down, whatever you want to do. You can use these draft picks because we are going to get some in the next season. We're going to cap it out at 4. So keep that in mind. And not many teams usually can get all 4 of their picks. Of course, not many teams let go of their entire roster. So there's that. So again, I will take off the free agent board there. I just want you guys to get a glimpse of that. I'll take the clown show off because we're going to talk a little bit of any comments in the chat, because we're going to talk a little bit here. Finish up with a couple quick comments. Mock draft out there. Talk about that. A guy that one of the last 30-day visit guys and pro day guys that have their pro days. Yeah, let me just start off with that then, because the Cowboys right now. Not that one.
I mean.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Hit up the chat and
up,
then just jumped right to it.
Sorry, hit it up. Yes,
you're
right. You're right.
So first of all, have to start off with the man Mark Hovsepian, who's coming through with a $5 holler. Do you know what he has to say?
Ooh, 5 on it. I just saw it. There it is. It dropped. He put the 5 on it. What did the man say?
I'd listen to The View with Whoopi and Joy giving their in-depth opinion on world matters, then listen to Jerry Jones' voice.
He don't like them too much.
At least when we tank, we can see Jerry Jones cry.
I don't want to see it.
That is a very small consolation prize in the grand scheme of things, Mark, because unfortunately Jerry Jones is immune to I told you so's of any kind.
Yeah, he has a short memory.
Otherwise, I don't know how it happens, but it's like he just deletes the previous season from his mind or something. So maybe when you get older, just all these losses start blurring together.
It seems like starts
to, I don't know, you turn into like Groundhog Day.
28 plus 29 years of this shit. Something got to wake him up.
We're going all in, but it's been 20-something years. Something's got to break the cycle.
Something's got to help. Something's got to help.
So now Luis Ortiz, was the Nostradamus there, because he basically, right when you were saying it, he typed it out in the chat saying that I would trade one of those comp picks to move up somewhere, right? Mark also said, I'd take Tyron Smith over a 3rd rounder. We'll probably get a 4th if we're lucky.
Exactly. We're not getting a 3rd. For Tyron Smith, we're getting a 5th rounder. That's what we're getting. A compensatory pick, 5th rounder.
Yeah.
For Tyron Smith.
Oh, that's now, Stephen White said, my comments aren't taken seriously here. But, I mean, your last comment was a while ago, and you just said decisions. So
yeah, it's hard to take that one. Decisions. There's some decisions to make. The Cowboys ain't making any of them. They're just doing nothing. So...
Just throw that this evening. Let us know what you think, and we're more than happy to.
Well, I guess saying good night. But here's the thing. Let me wrap it back here. We're gonna end anyway, Steven. So you're not gonna miss much. But we are gonna finish talking about the draft. And another guy is not listed on this. One of the I don't know if he's a 30 visit guy, but he is one of the last pro days. I think was yesterday or today. No, today was the last pro day. I think, and it was Illinois. Their defensive tackle, Johnny Newton, all right? His name is also Jerzan is his real name, but they call him Johnny Newton. He's a projected 1st-round pick. I haven't heard his name, but Johnny Newton, 1st-round pick, wrapped up a very impressive pro day. Showcased, again, he's a defensive tackle, so he's like a Mozzie Smith. Think of Mozzie position, right? So Johnny Newton, projected 1st-round pick, showcased elite explosion, which is what Mozzie doesn't have, and elite power. After a Jones fracture that he had, he's healed completely from. He's been given the full go on this, and he looked like he's fine. So I'm just letting you know that they dropped him out of the 1st round. Doesn't seem so. So which were the teams that were in attendance watching him? The Bills, the Niners, the Jets, the Raiders, the Saints, the Jaguars, the Commanders, and the Dallas Cowboys. So we're looking at him. Hey, if he falls, we might grab him. We'll see what happens. Oh, we got the man Mark Hovsepian dropping that 1-2. J. Lou holler. What did he have to say, man?
He said, I'm turning transgender before Jerry Jones does the right thing.
Oh, fuck. Hopefully not. Hopefully just Jerry do the right thing. Save this man from being a transgender. I don't know. I don't think Mark wants to go that route.
What's the female version of Mark?
Martha Hovsepian.
Martha. We're going with Martha.
We're going to start calling you Martha, Mark.
Or Marca.
Marquisa. What was that name that one of your friend said that it was because she was going to be called something.
It was a really bad name.
Yeah, okay.
It was like...
Yeah. I don't know if it started with a Mar.
Oh, man.
You're
making me want to look at it, yes. Miliksen.
Okay. Miliksen, okay.
Oh, my goodness.
Anyways.
That's one hell of a name.
Cowboys, they were in attendance for this Johnny Newton Pro Day at Illinois. Here's the thing, though. He plays defensive tackle. They're saying he might be a top 5 defensive player. Just a top 5 defensive player in the draft. In the entire draft.
Damn.
So, when it's going to be, I'm going to give you a couple little breakdowns here about the draft that's coming up, and you might not know either. It's going to make you think about things, but top 5 defensive player in the draft could be all the way in the 5th. I mean, all the way where we're picking in the 24th.
So it sounds like a very offensive-heavy draft,
I'll
or
explain.
First round specifically being predicted right now.
But you know who was over there at the Illinois Pro Day for us, for the Cowboys? Our scouting intern, Josh Brent.
Okay.
You remember him?
I mean, not really. I'm not going to lie.
All right. Well, also, Lions assistant defensive line coach Cameron Davis. They led the workout for Johnny or Jerzon Newton to do at his pro day. And the one thing I want to say about Josh Brent is that the Cowboys are keeping him in the mix. Why do I say this? You don't remember him? He really went. The one thing you guys say about the Joneses and this organization, at least they're giving guys chances to come back. Their own guys. Josh Brent got in that car accident, killed one other Cowboy player. And he went kind of crazy in the parking lot once. While he was coaching scouting for the Cowboys. Cowboys are keeping him in the mix. And that's something you got to give them credit. This is like 10 years, 12 years. They know that this guy is fragile in this way. So the Cowboys really do stick by some of their guys like this. You got to give the Joneses credit on that side. Not winning Super Bowls, but, they're good guys in that way, I guess. So, anyways, the point is, Josh Brent was the guy doing the Johnny Newton, Illinois defensive tackle, stuff there. Yeah. So good to see him doing his thing there. Just so this draft coming up, as you can see, most of our 30 visit guys are listed in those boxes per round, and you see our draft picks currently on the left. But in the Super Bowl era, there have been 57 NFL drafts. Only once have we seen only offensive players drafted with the first 7 picks in a row, like 1 through 7. It was in 2021. It was all offensive players. And the bet is this year, a very good bet that it's going to happen again this year in 2024. The first 7 players will be all offense, it sounds like. And there has never been an NFL draft with more than 19 offensive players picked in the first round. That happened only 3 times. Most recently, 2009. This draft, very likely to set the record for the most offensive players ever picked in round 1. So we're going round 1. And if they're taking all the offensive players, I want to take the number 1 center. I'm going to reiterate. I don't want the 7th offensive tackle. I want the number 1 center. And he will be there for us. Maybe even lower than 24. So, boom. And boom from Mark Hosepian dropping another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on it.
Woo.
In the chat. Much love to Mark. What did the man say?
I could see we kind of tank, get a higher pick, and then get a quarterback like Nick's in the first round, and then let him sit. Hire Belichick, next year in 2025. I'm not agreeing with it, but what else can we do?
I mean, yeah, I don't know what to say.
The only thing I'll say is, why would they draft a quarterback without Belichick's input if the mindset is to have Belichick
run the show,
kind of run things?
Yeah,
unless they're having discussions about that, in which case isn't that like tampering or
not tampering,
but isn't there something? I don't know if there's anything against that. Let me not speak there. But my point is, I can't see them just grabbing a QB without getting Belichick's sign off first.
I want to say something too about Bo Nix. You know his comparison is in the NFL? Dak Prescott.
Oh.
So you want Bo Nix, you want Dak Prescott younger. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're going to get.
Well, but you know what? Dak Prescott on a rookie contract with a strong team built around him, that basically sounds like the Niners.
But you know what the difference is? Here's the difference. The Cowboys going to have $40 million of Dak's contract next year, dead money. What do you think the Jones are going to blame everything on not getting guys for Bo Nix? You know what they're going to say? Dak's fault. I'm just telling you the truth. They're not going to spend a goddamn penny.
I feel like 30 years from now we're going to be hearing, it was all Dak's fault.
Or Romo's, when it was Romo's time, and Dez's. And, you know what I'm saying? It's the way the Joneses are. It's just the way they are. It's the way they do. So, Mark, I mean, I've heard the comparable to Bo Nix is Dak Prescott in the NFL. So I don't know if I really want that, and then trading our draft capital to go get a quarterback to I hear what you're saying, but it's again, we're going to have to get a quarterback eventually if we move on from Dak. But it is right now with the way we're looking, next year
limited with our choices.
Yeah, exactly. That's why those decisions are very limited. That Steven said earlier. So, anyways, much love to Mark. By the way, Jason Renfro's fallen. He's 38 points.
Slowly but surely,
he's getting
Mark
chopped
has been
away.
Chopping away at that stream boss.
Mark's clipping that Jason Renfro stream boss right now. Appreciate you, Mark. Much love. Now, and he's moving way up the board too, Marco Seppian, by the way. He's almost in the top 5. So, I kind of want to end this with 2 things here. First, an update. If you talk about offensive players, Adonai Mitchell from Texas wide receiver, they're saying there's reports out there that he is almost uncoachable. And his issue is his blood sugar, is according to a scout telling Bob McGinn. What do they say, baby?
Quote, you're going to have to assign somebody to be next to him for his first few years because his issues are all about his diabetes and his blood sugar. When his blood sugar is off, he's rude, he's abrasive, he doesn't pay attention in meetings. It's why you get really, really shitty character reports coming out of Georgia and Texas. Before you even get to the diabetic part, he's kind of going to do it his way. He's a little bit of a wild horse. You've got to see if you can harness him in, and then once you do that, he doesn't address the diabetic stuff in a mature way. He's very much a boom or bust type of guy.
Again, when in the right mindset, special player. I hope the Cowboys not go for receiver Adonai Mitchell. And again, not one of the guys the Cowboys only have one guy on the list here, Malachi Corley.
Yeah, definitely not worth it. But if you have a chronic illness and you are trying to be a professional athlete, you have to have it managed and under control.
I agree.
And it sounds like he's not, like, the implication from these comments is that he's not taking care of himself the way he's supposed to, which is why it's out of control.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he's saying. He's basically saying, this scout saying, if he don't watch his own, if he's not even caring about keeping up with his own stuff, he's going to be abrasive, rude, and not paying attention. And that you cannot afford to have that kind of slip up. Can't be dealing with, you're going to have somebody attached to his hip. Yeah. Sounds like Randy Gregory, but a lot worse in this situation.
And Sledhead, I kind of see it the other way. He said, I don't think the boys will get Belichick, but a quarterback's not a bad idea. Again, we're still going to get a quarterback probably in like the 7th round or some crap like that. But as far as aggressively targeting a quarterback, I disagree. I'd rather have Belichick
and then let him decide.
Than have a new quarterback, but not maybe have Belichick in the building.
It's all about the money. Benjamins, as they say. Again, when you have the money, it's about, we don't care if we got a shitty quarterback. We got to eat Dak's $40 million, and you add a rookie contract to that. Now it's not that bad anymore. You're overpaying for a quarterback, basically. It's just your rookie quarterback is what the Cowboys would end up doing. And I don't know if it's this year. I think it's next year. Cowboys would do that with Bill Belichick going forward. Cheapen everything down, right? And then, you got to hit the $40 million one year, but then you get yourself a quarterback, and you eat the $40 million, then you're paying $41 million for your quarterback starter, basically. And Dak's winning games with other teams. And we're struggling, but you hope Belichick has a good offensive coordinator that knows how to run the show properly. So that's that, and I trust Bill Belichick to get the right guys in there.
Yeah, Smodia said it's a slippery slope.
Louis
Ortiz said can get that kid for cheap if you can control that. Which again, that goes beyond like in behavior issues.
And it's hard to trust him.
Life or death.
Yeah, and it's hard to trust him because he don't really maintain it. So he doesn't really maintain his medicine. So that's when he can't do it. Now you have to have a babysitter.
So in Tyrone Church, exactly. Like that was one of the comments that I made earlier from way back, all the way in Dak's rookie year. Bill Belichick has been giving Dak what feels like bigger praise than he usually gives in his typical kind of like just general analysis or breakdown, whatever. Like he's genuinely given Dak compliments and gone out of his way to do so when he didn't necessarily have to. So yeah, there are multiple articles out there stating all the different things that he likes about Dak. That's what, like I said, that's the biggest thing to me that feels like
in the Jerry connection.
Yeah, well, of course. Yeah. But when we're talking like actual more football tangible stuff, like why would Belichick want to coach our team specifically with what we have? I do think Dak is a draw. I know people don't see it that way. I know, Dak lovers, Dak haters, whatever. My point is, remove how you might personally see it and just picture things from Bill Belichick's mindset and what the things he's actually said
Yeah, I mean,
right?
if he knows what the things he needs to do for Dak.
If he doesn't like Dak,
he puts Dak in the right
to believe.
scheme or system or has the right guy to find it.
Exactly.
I trust him to do that. Now, finishing this up with a mock draft here, not mine, but I think it was the Schrager's, the NFL Network Schrager, right? NFL Network did one. And listen to this. They picked Xavier Worthy, Texas wide receiver. We just talked about one Texas. This is Xavier Worthy, 24th pick of the draft, would be a receiver for the Cowboys, which to me would be surprising. But first, we got the man Marco Sepien once again, just busting his way up this board left and right. I think he just jumped up another spot. What did the man say?
There is that word, if.
Big ifs.
If my wee-wee grows by an inch, I'll double in size. But that's the problem. So many ifs that amount to jack shit. Clown show.
I can't say he's wrong about that. I mean, I don't know about the inches, but my point is that the Cowboys, actually, you know what? Talking about this pick, I think, is a great example of that. So what exactly would the Cowboys be thinking in their mind? Because he's either, there to replace CeeDee Lamb, who we're, not going to sign? We're going to tag him, we're going to what? Or he's there to be, another high-value number 2 guy. It feels almost like if they were to do this, it almost feels like a CeeDee Lamb-esque situation where CeeDee was a rookie a year or two underneath Amari Cooper before he finally moved up into that number 1 spot. But here's the thing. Xavier Worthy, that'd be stupid in my opinion. This would be a Schrager with this mock draft would never be what I would. This what tells me, baby, is that these NFL Network analysts, I put this in quotes, air quotes, these analysts, they're just doing it like the show off name. I've heard some other content creators take this and run with it and say, how would you feel? And make a whole freaking 20-minute show on this shit. Guys, there's no need for that. Xavier Worthy, who, by the way, fastest man in combine history, but he's as skinny as a beanpole, all right, would be a wonderful addition as a deep threat for Dak Prescott with that speed. We also have Kamate Turpin and others that have speed, but with the contract issues with Dak and CeeDee Lamb, that's why Peter Schrager chose Xavier Worthy over the offensive linemen and the players that were out there. So listen to this, baby. You know who was on the board when Schrager picked Xavier Worthy to the Cowboys? And we'll get to the man Marco Sepien here in a moment. What did he say, actually?
A big mahalo. With that $2 holler, he said, I prefer to use CMs. It helps my ego. Clowns. Now, I have to admit, I don't know what CMs are. And I have a feeling it's going to be something interesting. So, Mark, let us know what that is so we can all...
I have an idea, but I'll let him tell you. Thank you, Mark, by the way.
Now, I'm feeling really slow. I don't know.
You'll hear it in a moment.
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
Jason Renfro, 31 points on the stream ball. He's going down, baby. And...
centimeters. Okay.
You know what's talking about is...
Yes.
Okay.
I get it. I'm sitting here like
I was wondering if you would figure it out.
I thought it was like some sex thing that I didn't know. And I was just like, damn, I'm behind on the times here.
2.5 centimeters, maybe 1 inch. Anyways. So my point here is...
It's late, Mark.
Mark is in 3rd place on the overall board, by the way. I mean, coming out of nowhere, just jumping over the After Dark family, right? Ha, you got it, right?
Sorry.
So anyway, Xavier Worthy would be a horrible pick at 24. And you know who else was available at 24? I mean, first of all, we could have traded back and probably get at least one of these guys. Amarius Mims, offensive tackle. The big guy who kind of gets injured a lot, didn't play many games, but he's a high-value tackle. I wouldn't make the pick, but he's out there. Zach Frazier, who's a center, guard, and tackle. He could play anywhere. Bartolelli, who could play anywhere on the line. All these guys are more like second-rounders, though. To me, Jackson Powers Johnson was still there in this thing, and Graham Barton from Duke. Both these guys are centers. The best center in the league is Jackson Powers Johnson. The best offensive tackle in the league, Graham Barton. Oh, I'm sorry. The best center in the league, second best center in my opinion, but he can play multiple positions, is Graham Barton. These two guys are going to be picked probably around the same area, around anywhere from 25 to 32. That's what the Cowboys need to trade back to, in my opinion. So how would I feel about Xavier Worthy getting the fastest guy in that's called a Jerry Jones pick. That would be like, hey, we got the fastest guy ever at the combine with that star in his helmet. And he'll sell a bunch of jerseys. They ain't going to win no games. So when I look at these guys, I know there's a lot of guys. I think there's a guy named Fisher, a tackle. You get him in the second or even third round. Great potential to be a eventual starter. I would focus on that rather than trying to get cute with some of the offensive, with the 6th or 7th or 8th best offensive tackle in the draft. I'll go with center, and later on I'll go with the 9th best tackle in the draft in the second round. You know what I'm saying? So that's just me. Now I don't know what you feel, baby, but you kind of gave your thoughts about Xavier Worthy. Let's clean up the chat tonight and kind of get the last comments and thoughts from everybody in the chat. Your last drops of love from above, and let us know your thoughts on everything as we kind of give I guess you could say the combo, right? The 1-2. We get the comments and we get the shout outs.
Of course.
As we close it up tonight.
So Luis Ortiz, much love, saying Dak has problems hitting his wide receivers on the fly.
He's one of the best quarterbacks in tight window throws, so I disagree with that comment. But he could be more consistent at times.
Mr. Seabass saying JPJ and T-Sweat. Make it happen.
T-Sweat would be 5th round at the earliest with our current picks.
So I think he's just saying that he'd like to see us get both of those guys.
If he drops to the 5th round, he may come to Dallas.
Revelation journalist saying wide receiver Trey Lance is already on the team. Problem solved.
When it comes to a quarterback. We used the 4th round pick. We don't have 4th round pick because we got Trey Lance.
Yes.
That's our quarterback. We're not going to draft no quarterback.
Of course, a big mahalo to Marco Seppi.
Ooh, much love to the man, Marco Seppi.
Oh, Michael Guerra. What's up, saying I'm waiting for Arch Manning.
I heard a lot of people say that. When is he coming out?
Sledhead 50 saying Belichick gonna coach for Jerry? I just don't see it.
Well, they're good friends, and that's the only reason why he would coach for Jerry. Because they're friends. That's the one reason why they have the connection.
Tyrone Church, much love, saying Bill loves Dak.
Yep.
That he certainly does.
And he's good friends with Jerry Jones. And Stephen Jones. So that is where the connection is at, and that is why his good close friend said he don't even see him. There's been connection with Bill Belichick to Philly, the Giants, and Cowboys, but he said he ain't going to go back in the NFL unless it's the Cowboys. Because it's for Jerry Jones. He said basically unless it's Jerry Jones, then he'll go back to the NFL for coaching. We'll see if that's true. That's my hope. That's been the reports now. We'll see if that comes true. I hope we win a Super Bowl with McCarthy and Dak. I hope we win a Super Bowl this year. That would change everything. But the reality is Belichick is right there waiting, and if you give him just enough control, he can get you closer to the Super Bowl than McCarthy can. And no matter who's the quarterback, Dak or somebody else. I'm just letting you know. That's my opinion. Belichick's one of the best to do it, and someone like Stephon Gilmore, and other players out there have doubled down, tripled down to the fact that you might not like him, but he knows how to win. That's what I want. I want a winner. I don't want no fucking. We want to make it look nice. I want a winner. That's all. A coach, coaching. Everybody else will play better if they listen to the coach.
So kind of rolling it back, I shout out Tyrone Church here. We still have 50. We have Asmodeus, much love, representing, of course. Revelation journalist in the house. Yeah, with Jerry and Steven, it is always next year.
Same
right?
bullshit.
Bad intentions. Yeah, the holding back money comment definitely rubbed me the wrong way. China, take it easy. Jerry Jones. I can't believe you show your face around these parts, Jerry. Brave from that boxed wine. James Hurd, take it easy, much love. Let me see, we have chapstick for your coochie lips.
Love the name.
Oh, let me see, I know we had Thomas Garrett, the superior
Garrett
in here.
Never hurt. For the coochie lips.
Just a little chapstick?
A little bit.
Brandon James, what's up? We have, let me see, who else is here? GM, representing.
Excuse me.
Yeah, that's actually as far back as I can go, at least on my side. So let me make sure I come back down. Don't miss anybody here. So I think that's everyone. But before you go, guys, don't forget, you got to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Follow us anywhere and everywhere at MyCowboysFamily. Of course, hop in the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below. And tip of the hat to the sponsor of the week.
Ooh.
And Cash App King.
You know him.
McLovin.
The man, McLovin taking over.
Love. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Of course, Jason Renfro. Not just the membership gifting king, but also the stream boss.
31 points, still hanging on there.
Yeah, Mr. Marco Seppi knocked away at some of his
chipped away a lot. He's
stream bossiness.
Mark's third on the overall board. SCO917 is like 15 in front of him, and then in front of him is the man McLovin, who's coming for trying to get that back to back. like our 90s Cowboys. So McLovin in the lead in the Cash App and the sponsor of the week. While Skeptical Fan in the lead trying to regain the power of the membership gifting board. By the way, and I do want to say this, in the upcoming days, we got to catch up with Mr. The Lunatic, but we may be having a little special thing going down here next week for the draft. And you guys, if you guys want to have a chance to win something, you got to get in something, right? So it's got a little raffle maybe coming up around the corner. Stay tuned for that. It may start like tomorrow or next time we go live. So get ready for that. It'll be a lot of fun, hopefully, as we get ready for this big, huge draft for the Cowboys. A huge draft, a lot of importance, and we have so little in this draft. Like that's why we have to hit in rounds 1, 2, and 3 somehow, somewhere, or trade back a little bit and get an extra pick. I don't care. We got to make it work this time. So this season, for this season to be anything of any kind of value, we're going to have some really good moves here in this draft. So it is extremely important, even if you're not as excited. And I completely understand that. I completely understand it. On that note, though, baby, let everyone know why we do this thing here on MCF each and every night, or at least when there's news and info and updates, why we do this each and every night on MCF.
Of course, it's because of that navy blue,
Yeah.
that silver too, and that star over everything.
Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly. Here on this channel, you see us repping it. It's that star over everything. And on this channel, My Cowboys Family, for almost 7 years here, guys, on YouTube. Never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys. Let's get that 7. I want to get 7. And beyond. Hey, let's start with 6, all right? Let's get that 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, and beyond. But let's get it sooner than later, please. I beg of you, Cowboys. Thank you all. Thank you. I know. With the way the Cowboys are doing things, it'll take us 2 more decades. Thank you all in the chat for dropping the knowledge in the chat all night long. Can't do it without your thoughts on our Cowboys. And, of course, the people dropping the love from above, whether it's the After Dark sessions, which probably is not going to happen tonight. But those in the membership, those that give through all the different ways, Cash App, PayPal, and, of course, tonight, specifically, the man, Mark Hovsepian, all the way from Hawaii. Yes, he's the man dropping the love tonight. Appreciate you. On that note, though, it is time to get on and go as we relock and reload for another show, possibly tomorrow, depending on what goes down, but definitely by Thursday, by Fan Friday. You'll see us back here at the very latest, I think. Yeah, exactly. So on that note, guys, again, if there's news, info, and updates, you know we'll be back at it tomorrow. If not, you'll see us here on Friday night. By the way, go Bulls. Yeah, they won. Got to win on Friday night. On that note, guys, it is time to clock out, drop out of here for the night, and relock and reload for another show coming up very soon, tomorrow or the next day. On that note, though, it is time to get out of here, baby. Before we can officially drop out for the night, let everybody know what we got to do.
We got to drop the beat.
The beat's been dropped. Thanks again, everybody in the house, for joining us for another one as we wrapped up 2 days worth of Dallas Cowboy news, info, and updates right here on another MCF Cowboys chat. You know it. Talked about all of this. Belichick, the question mark, the clown show of Stephen Jones and Jerry, Dak and his legal troubles, and or issues, I would say. And, of course, the newest player on the Cowboys, running back, Royce Freeman. And other things, draft news and other stuff. Hope you enjoyed it here in MCF. Here where it's always about that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything. Never, ever forget the number one thing right here on My Cowboys Family. Much love to all of you in the house for making the trek over here and watching, chilling with us tonight, watching the replay. Hit the like, comment down below. But hit that like for the stream. It helps the analytics. Subscribe to the channel and keep growing it. Growing this thing to 35K and beyond. Of course, make sure you push that notification bell and make sure it's on all videos. Follow us on all social media at My Cowboys Family, Discord. All the information is in the description down below. Much love to all, guys. Stay safe. Peace out, and we'll see you soon. Outside of that, you know what's going down. Never, ever forget. Go Cowboys!
on the beat.